Hi, this is Chandra with Super Happy Scrapper, and I'm here to do the tutorial on part 2 on the Retro Flip Mini. The last one we did all the pages. On my blog, superhappyscrapper.blogspot.com, I have all the measurements there. I will add the measurements for the spine because I finally decided what I was going to do for the spine, so I'll add the measurements tonight after I upload this video. So for the spine, you're going to need a piece that measures 8 by 11 and a piece that measures 3.5 by 11. And I already scored this. This is like Kathy Orta's hidden hinge binding, but I just added a 1/4 inch at the front and at the back. The hinges are 1/2 inch, and then there's 3/8 of an inch gap in between each of the pages. So I'll just read the measurements, and again, they'll be on my blog. So first score mark is 1.5, then 1 3/4, then 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/8, 3 5/8, 4 1/8, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 7/8, 6 3/8, 6 7/8, 7 1/4, 7 3/4, 8 2/8, 8 5/8, 9 1/8, 9 5/8, 10, and 10 1/2. And you're going to be, that's almost 7 hinges. As you can see, I applied a piece of score tape to this, and I'll go over that in a minute. Now, the 3.5 inch spine, you're going to score it 1/2 inch, 7/8 of an inch, 1 3/8 of an inch, 1 7/8, and 2 1/8. And then what you're going to do, move this, is you're going to apply a piece of score tape on this last 1/2 inch score mark here. And then flip it over and attach a piece of score tape on the first 1/2 inch on the 3.5 inch. And I lined up my score tape so it's right at the edge of this paper, and this one's closer to the score line on the back. So I'm just going to take off my score tape on that piece and this piece, and I'm going to attach it right over that 1/2 inch because, whoops, because I added extra. There's 8 pages in here, and then I added the 3/8 of an inch gussets in the middle, so the paper's like 12, 13. So you're just gonna, whoa, focus. There we go. So you're just going to need to add that part on there. Now we're going to flip it over, and I did add a piece of score tape on every other 1/2 inch mark. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Here's a 1/2 inch mark, and here's a 1/2 inch mark, and I added the score tape. Then the 3/8 inch, then 1/2 inch, and then I added score tape, 3/8, half, score tape. So it goes like that all the way to the end. And so here's the 1/4 inch and the 1/4 inch gusset. I don't like it when my mini albums have no gap between the cover and the first page. So then you're just going to fold this accordion fold. You're going to score on your score marks, crease on your score marks, and make sure that it's straight because you don't want your binding to be crooked. And I'm just going to continue that throughout the whole length of this. Then did I miss one? Yep. And I think with the 1/4 inch gap, in between there. I think that Paper Phenomenon does have a tutorial on her YouTube channel for the 1/4 inch. It's basically the same. You score, you know, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and you keep on going like that. Your flaps at the front, that I have mine at 1.5 inches. You can have yours at any size that you want. I just think the 1/2 inch is a good size. So now, after folding all those, I'm going to take the score tape off one at a time. I'm going to line it this way so it's easier for me. And I'm going to match up those 2 1/2 inch flaps. So this is the 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to take this piece off, and I'm going to fold the 1/2 inch on top of that. And then we're left with the 3/8. I'm going to fold the 1/2 inch on that. So this is what it looks like so far. So the gussets on this album are going to be 3/8 of an inch. Whoops. Folded that one all jacked up. There we go. Blake, what do you need? Blake, what do you need? Is there any reason why you're down here while I'm recording?
No.
Okay, then go upstairs, please. The what? Yeah. Hey. You're welcome. So I'm just applying the 1/2 inch flap without the score tape to the 1/2 inch that I put the score tape on.
Sorry.
It's alright. And then you end up with a 1/4 inch on each side. So now I'm just folding my flaps forward and backward. Oh, keep on going off. I moved my camera out so I wouldn't be doing that. So this is what it ends up like. I guess I'll have to put that there. And now I have made little flaps. This is like Paper Phenomenon's deconstructed hidden hinge. And I made 4 of these, and these measure 5 by 1.5. And I scored them at 1/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1 1/4 of an inch. And these are going to be the flaps for the undercut pages that we're going to make next. And the pages, the undercut page measurements are on my blog. So I'm just adding a piece of score tape to one of the 1/2 inch marks, and I'm folding it over. So I'm ending up with this. Here's the flap that we're going to attach the page to, and then we're going to put score tape on the back of here and attach it to our hidden hinge. So I'm just doing the same thing here. Taking off the 1/2 inch score tape, folding it over, reinforcing it. So if I have it laid out, it looks like that. So there's a 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to apply the score tape to the 1/2 inch mark. Take the tape off, fold it over to the next 1/2 inch mark, and you're left with another 1/4 inch mark on the other side. So if you wanted it to add more of the undercut pages, you'll just have to make more of these hinges. I just thought this was easier than cutting these hinges over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm placing it so that the 2 little flaps, these right here, are both facing up. So I'm going to apply a piece of, I have 1/8 inch score tape. So I'm going to apply that on there since these little flaps are only 1/4 of an inch. I will apply that to both flaps. Now that Archiver's closed here in Fort Wayne, the only place to get score tape is a local scrapbooking, or it's a stamping store, stamping day and night, and they have very limited hours. So I have been ordering score tape from ScorePal online. So I get about 20 rolls at a time. So there's those. Now with these flaps here, we're going to apply score tape on both sides of the flap. So I'm going to do that quickly here. Hopefully this video doesn't go over 30 minutes. And I did the other 4 pages because in the tutorial I did 4 pages. So went ahead and made my other 4 so that I can show you how I insert them onto these hinges. I didn't pick out paper yet, so I will not be doing the cover yet. If you want me to, I can do another video of attaching this to the cover, but there are several videos out there that are really good already on how to cover your albums. I use chipboard, and I get it from Joann's.com, or Walmart has it as well. Walmart.com. It's the same chipboard. It's graphics, medium weight chipboard. So I've applied the tape to all my hinges, and now I'm just going to miter my hinges. I am going from the fold line up and cutting it off. I'm going to do that to all of them. And I just do one side at a time. Whoops, almost cut that one off. I tend to go really fast, so leave me a comment and let me know if you think I'm moving too fast. I tried to slow down. Once you get it in your head and you know what's going on, I just never think about beginners, I guess. Okay, so now I need to add the tape to these hinges here on this piece. So I'm going to add a strip to each of the 1/2 inch sides, and then I'm going to miter those corners as well. I'm going to stick, there we go. I'm going to stick this ruler there, and maybe I will stay in front of the ruler. And the third one, should just draw a line on my mat. It's so stained anyway. I like using distress stains. I'm very messy with them. Okay, here's the last one. Just got to make sure that you press your score tape on there. I did find some tape at a scrapbook convention that came to town years ago, and I did a blog post on it. It's similar to score tape. You can rip it with your hands. It's as sticky, and it was from a company that makes embossing powders and glitter. What you looking for?
Oh, I do want to interrupt you.
Oh, that's okay. Wait, what do you need?
I need like a tablet or paper.
Okay. In that top drawer right there in that credenza. How big do you need?
It's usually the question I ask you.
Okay, I don't know how to edit that out.
Oh, you're still on tape?
Yeah, I'm still recording. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's 8 hinges. Is that not big enough?
I want a regular size tablet.
Right there in that box.
This?
Yeah, there should be one in there somewhere.
Maybe it have to be a tablet. Just yeah, there we go.
Just don't use my stone paper. I like that one.
I like the legal thing.
Sorry. It's all right. He's getting ready to watch the draft, so he needs his notebook. So I have 8 pages, but I only have 4 of these little hinges, and I just thought of something. This gusset's only 3/8 of an inch, and this is 1/2 an inch. So I'm going to have to cut my flaps down to 1/4 of an inch each. And I'm just going to eyeball it. See, you live and you learn. Hopefully I'm not cutting the whole piece off with the tape. There's still some tape. I might have to put more tape on there. Or maybe now I can stick 1 piece of 1/4 inch tape on there. You know what? That's what I'll do on the next one. I'm going to stick a piece of 1/4 inch tape, center it over the line, and then cut the excess off. And then that way it'll be 1/4 of an inch. All right. So I want one on my first page. And I'm just going to try to stick it in the middle here. And just put this on there. So I'm just going to put this 1/4 inch tape and try to get it in the middle. So now there's 3 pieces on there. And then I'm just going to cut on either side of this 1/4 inch tape. I could leave one flap shorter than the other, but I just want them to be even. So I guess instead of scoring at 1/4 of an inch, I should score at 1/8, and then 1/2, 1/2, and then 1/8 again. And then that way it'll fit in the middle. If my gussets were 1/2 an inch, this would fit perfectly, but they're not. So there you go. So I know I want one here because I put that one there. But this one I'm going to put in the middle, and the next 2. See, that's not quite enough. So learn from my mistake. Score 1/8 of an inch, then move over 1/2 an inch, and then 1/8 of an inch again. So I'm going to try. There we go. And then I think I'll put this one here towards the bottom, and the other one towards the top on the other side. So now I'm almost at 20 minutes because I messed up this measurement here. And I'm going to peel this off and add a piece of 1/4 inch. There we go. So I'm going to skip one, put one towards the bottom, skip one. Let's see, that'd be 2. And then I'm going to put it here. So you can put your undercut pages wherever you want. So I have a regular flap, undercut, flap, gusset, flap, gusset, and then the undercut. That was smart. So I put it on the first gusset, skipped one, and then put it on the next one. So this one will go on the bottom of this one right here, just so it's a little consistent. And then you skip one, and then there'll be a undercut gusset, skip one, and then there'll be another. So that is what my binding is going to look like. We have all the corners chomped off and everything. So now I made pockets for some of my pages, and I already have those cut out and scored, like on my blog. And I already have all my tags put in my pockets, and I have the measurements on my blog for that as well. So what I need to do is figure out an order for my albums. So I'm just going to do that, put that there, and I'm just rotating them. Alright, so my first page is going to be the quad pocket page, and I'm going to be attaching some long pockets and some short pockets. So on my blog, I told you to cut 4 sheets of each of these measurements, 8 by 4. So you're going to cut out 4 of those. 3 by 9, cut out 4 of those. And then the last one is 9 by 4.5. And on all 3 of these, let's move this over here. All 3 of these, I'm putting them on my scoreboard so that the length is across the top here, and I'm scoring it 1/2 inch on each side. So the 9-inch ones I scored at 1/2 inch and 8.5, and then the 8-inch one I scored at 1/2 inch and then 7.5. Now, if you wanted to make your pockets a little bit smaller, and you could rotate it and score it 1/2 inch here, you wouldn't have to glue the bottoms of them when you put them in your pocket or put them in your book. But I'm just going to glue mine. So I've got all of those done already. And so all I'm going to do on each one of these, it doesn't matter what size that it is, I'm folding the flaps up and I'm going to apply score tape to the flaps here. And this is the vertical pocket page, or pocket, I think. This 9-inch one is the horizontal pocket. And as I said in my blog, you can put these pockets pretty much on any one of these pages on the inside. Obviously not the front page, because that's where we put the other pockets. That's the same size. Was there a longer one? Yeah. Thought I was going crazy for a minute. It was a bad day at work. So now I'm just going to put the score tape on there. And I'm going to pull out my pocket here, or my page, and I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to decide if I want a pocket here. And you have to, keep in mind that your binding is here. So I'm actually going to put this pocket towards the binding on this first page on the inside. And I don't have a pocket made for every page because I only have 12 pockets made. There's every page, meaning I don't have one for this page, or the backs. But so this is also a vertical pocket that I can attach to the back. But personally, since I have that one there, I don't want to attach another vertical pocket to this page. So I'm going to attach it to the back, because that's the measurement I have for this vertical page, is for the back. And since I did corner round all my pages, I'm going to have to quarter round this page here because the pocket's going to stick on the other side. So my first page has a pocket here, and then the page pocket, and then the 4 little pockets here. And then when I flip the page over in my book, I'll have a pocket there. So you want to make sure that you glue the bottom of this right here down. And as well as this one, you're going to want to glue here. Be careful when you're gluing so that you don't glue the big pocket shut, because that's the pocket that's going to go into the tags, the lips that we just made. So the second one, I'm choosing to have this horizontal pocket come out this way and these two there. So what I'll do is, it looks like this one goes on the back. So I'm not going to stick one on this back because there's 4 of those, and I just stuck one on the other one. So I'm going to make another vertical, just folding on my score lines here and applying score tape. And I'm going to stick this one on the back of the page. And I'm just going to line it up to the back here and press the sides down with the score tape. So this is going to be another pocket here. And like I said, you don't have to attach your pockets everywhere on every single page. I'm going to attach this thicker style pocket to the inside. This one. And I'm just rotating my page so that I get my pocket on there right. I'm lining up the bottom corners, pressing it down, and going across like that. So there's another page. This one, I'm going to put the pocket on the back. Make sure it fits. Like that. So you just keep on doing that for all your pages. Now I'm going to show you how to make the undercut pages. I only have 4, so you need 4 sheets that measure 5 by 6, 4 sheets that measure 3.5 by 7, and 4 sheets that measure 6 by 3. The 6 by 3 sheet, you're going to stick it so it's the 6-inch side is at the top. You're going to score it 1/2 inch and 5.5 inches. And then you're going to do the same with the 7-inch. You're going to score it 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches. And I've already scored all mine. So I'm just going to be folding up the flaps on all of these and applying score tape to the flaps while they're folded. One of these pockets is going to go on the front of the larger sheet and one is going to go on the back. And you're going to glue one but not the other. So let me just get all these folded here. Okay, now that I've got them all folded, I'm going to add score tape to all the flaps while they're folded. Cannot wait for summer, or at least spring, because 50 degrees is too cold for this time of year, especially since my son's in baseball, one of them, and it's cold sitting out there. We haven't had to actually have a game yet because it's so wet here. The fields are flooded, and so we haven't had a game, but I'm looking forward to it. So I'm just applying all the score tape to these flaps. And then I'm going to apply the flaps to the pages. See, that was my mistake. I talked to them one time when I was recording, and now they want to come in here all the time. So, the 7-inch piece that we scored at 1/2 inch on each side is the vertical pocket, and that goes like that. So I'm putting it on the front of that. I'm going to flip it over and apply the smaller piece to the back. Like so. Now, I made the hinges on this. So you could do one of two things. I made them small enough so that they would fit on this 5-inch flap, so they would stick out like this, or you can put it on there like that. So you have your choice of how you want your undercut page to go. So I'm just going to get these all built first, and then I'll decide. I might rotate them every other one. I'm going to, oops, wrong piece. I'm going to round the corners on whatever side I choose is going to stick out of my album there. And again, just sticking this on the left side of my page, lining it up the sides and the top. I'm going to flip it over and put the little pockets on the bottom. This time I just chose the little one first. There's no order that you have to put them on in. So I'm flipping it over and I'm attaching this. Oh, took tape off the wrong one. The large pocket on one side, small pocket on the other side. And I'm sticking the large pocket on the left side of my papers. Where did it go? I'm missing a page. Oh well. It'll be all right. Now I'm getting out my hinge, and I'm going to decide. I'm not putting them down yet, but I'm just deciding how I want my pages. Making sure that my pocket's on the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to put 2 like this on the other 2 the other way. So I'm chomping the corners on this side. The pocket's over here, and so I'm just chomping the corners on that side. This one I'll put so that it goes like this. So what I'm going to do is chomp my corners on the other 2 sides like that. Okay. Now it's time to attach. I had went through earlier when I was flipping through here, and I decided which order I wanted my pages in. And so I'm going to just stick them in that order. I'm just rotating my hinge so it's easier for me to work on. Let me see if I can get closer here without... Okay. So I'm taking off the tape backing on one long hinge, both sides of it. Okay. So this hinge doesn't have any tape, or it has tape on it with no backing. And this is the page that we made. It opens up. And again, because I didn't glue my pocket, make sure that you're opening the back. If you have to stick your hand in here to figure it out, that's fine. I stick my hand in there and I hold it open with my fingers as I'm putting it on my hinge. So now I'm just lining it up to my hinge, making sure that it's stuck in between there. And it's stuck all the way down flush. And then fold it down and make sure that you rub so that the adhesive sticks on both ends. So now we're doing an undercut. And I decided that I wanted this page sticking here. So I'm making sure pockets on the bottom, pockets are right, I'm making sure all my pages are right. So I'm using this pocket here to attach my hinge, or attach my page to the hinge. Putting it down so it's flush on my hinge, squeezing it down, and pushing it over. So now I'm going on with my next page. You always want to make sure that you're attaching them in the right direction. I don't know how many times I have put a book together, and I usually start by making my book covers, and then I attach the hinge, and then I attach the pages to the hinge after it's already in the book. But I don't know how many times I've gotten done with the book and started flipping through it and realized that my cover's upside down. I've done that I don't know how many times. So now I'm just attaching another big page. Let's see if I can get this at an angle. See how I'm opening up this with my hand, sticking the hinge in there like that and pushing it down against the spine before I smash it together. So this one, this pocket here, we're going to have, take the tape off. We're going to have it sticking this way. So I'm just lining it up to the bottom of my album here. Now I'm adhering it. Now we're going to have this little opening at the top where the hinge wasn't. You'll just take some wet glue and put it inside the page where the hinge would be and just glue it shut. I don't think anything's going to fall out of it. I don't think it's going to rip off there, but it's just better. So I'm just attaching a little glue there, squeezing it, and I told you I was messy with my glue. So there's that page. The next page is a long page. So I'm taking the tape off of that, opening up my page with my hand like this, sticking it on there. Very, very simple. Do it again. Just lining it up like that, sticking it in there. You can even wiggle it back and forth a little bit. Just don't put pressure on it, just to make sure that your page doesn't stick. Now this binding on this book is going to be a little bit thicker, or a little bit bigger, the spine I should say, a little bit bigger than normal because I used 8 pages instead of 6. Usually in my mini albums I only do 6. This one I put 8. And also the gusset, we're going to put this one on there again. I'm going to line it up with the top of the page because you don't want it sticking out of the book unless you want it sticking out of the book. The spine is depending on how big your binding is, and since it's 8 pages and there's a 3/8 of an inch gusset in between each of the pages, the spine is going to be pretty big. And I haven't actually measured it yet because I like to put my spine together first, and then I measure the width of the spine, and that's how I figure out width of the spine, width of my binding page, and then I figure out my spine from there. This one's not going in on the left very well. There we go. The last of the undercut pages here. Taking off my tape backing, putting in my page this way, and the last page. So it's not really that hard. It wouldn't take that long. It took me about an extra 5 minutes to cut down those little hinges. Okay, so this is our book bound. And all our tags, my tags are in there right now. I don't have large tags in here. But to figure out the spine measurement of my book, I just stick, this is my binding strip, that was what I call it. So I just stick it on there and I measure it from gusset to gusset. And it's 3 1/4 inches. So I would have my spine of my book be 3 1/4 inches. Now, to make the spine stronger, you can add a piece of Tyvek. And you just want to measure the whole sheet here. So on mine it would be 6 by 7. And so I would cut a piece of, oops, let me zoom back out here. I would cut a piece of Tyvek that measures 6 by 7, and I would just put score tape all along here and attach my Tyvek. Then I would put more score tape on the back of my Tyvek, and that's what I would attach to my chipboard spine. So that's it. That's part 2. I hope you like it. I'm going to continue to put my pockets on there and finish gluing my pockets so that I can mat my book. I have to figure out what paper I'm going to use first. And then I will show you the finished one. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my blog for all the measurements. Superhappyscrapper.blogspot.com. Bye.